wife shouldn't have dug that hole.
Hello and welcome back to our channel, guys. From Season 4 has dropped and it's time to turn the theory wheel. Funnily enough, Cheramy, who plays Julie, has stated in an interview that the script sometimes feels like the makers are really listening to us, and has actually encouraged the Fromily to keep sharing their headcanons. So here I am with a fresh new take on the most talked about entry of this season, the Man in Yellow. Because we found a major connection between this shape-shifting thing and Robert W. Chambers' book, The King in Yellow, which is described as a forbidden work. King in Yellow was such an enigmatic character in fiction that even H.P. Lovecraft has incorporated it in his Cthulhu mythology. So it's absolutely possible that the writers and directors of From are about to reveal a Lovecraftian connection in this season. Let's find out how. So, what is The King in Yellow? In 1895, Robert W. Chambers published a collection of short stories by the same name. The book contained 9 short stories and a series of poems, but at the heart of them was one dreadful forbidden play, which was known to drive its readers to madness. The play was titled The King in Yellow, and many stories in the book reference this infamous fictional play which was banned. Chambers introduced the play as when the French government seized the translated copies which had just arrived in Paris, London of course became eager to read it. It's well known how the book spread like an infectious disease from city to city, from continent to continent. The play has not been explored in its entirety, but excerpts from it have been used in various short stories. Now, the first act of The King in Yellow is considered to be generally harmless, but the second act, well, that's where all the madness and cosmic horror starts, when the play starts revealing unspeakable truths. The structure of the book basically works the same way as the play is describing. The early stories pull you in nice and easy, but the further you go, the more it starts to mess with you and leave things hanging. It's this constant teasing of forbidden knowledge that really gets under your skin. There are a few elements that come up over and over again in the play, like the Yellow Sign, Hastur, Carcosa, and the Lake of Holly. Interestingly, Chambers borrowed these terms from Ambrose Bierce's short stories, an inhabitant of Carcosa and Haida the Shepherd. The Yellow Sign, in particular, is described as this strange gold symbol that doesn't belong to any known human language. Anyone who comes across it is said to fall under the King of Yellow's influence. It's supposedly tied back to Carcosa, this ancient otherworldly city where this unknown entity king himself resides. So the most important elements here are Yellow and the place, Carcosa. Keep these in mind. Now, what little we can piece together about the plot suggests the fall of some royal dynasty on another world, mixed in with things like a masquerade, the arrival of a mysterious stranger, and eventually the King in Yellow showing up. And from what appears on the cover of the book, there's this thing in yellow-colored robes with red wings, clearly indicating that it is not something human. However, the king's actual identity is never broken down, which is exactly why people keep trying to figure him out. Some tie him into H.P. Lovecraft's mythos, where he's considered to be Hastur himself, while others read him as more of a symbol of humanity's fear of the unknown, or what happens when you push too far into things that should be better left alone. And consequently, illustrators came up with various depictions of the King in Yellow, particularly to cash in on the character in the gaming world. One of the most interesting parts about the King in Yellow is the color choice. It ties back to the aesthetic trends that were popular toward the end of the 19th century, the kind of stuff you see in publications like the Yellow Book. At the same time, yellow has been read as a reference to quarantine, something linked to decay and disease. The King in Yellow has influenced several films and shows, including The Lighthouse and even True Detective. And now, the most direct influence can be seen in From. For starters, Tabitha found 9 dates etched onto the walls of the lighthouse, which is exactly the number of short stories in Chambers' book. And if you think about it, Fromville has an uncanny resemblance to Carcosa, which exists in another dimension, outside of time and space. In short, past, present, and future all overlap in Carcosa. Now, From has made it clear that the town messes with time and allows people to jump between different timelines, thanks to the Storywalker aspect. Now let's bring in the weird symbol that Chambers talked about, which drove people to insanity. Ring a bell? Jade almost loses his mind trying to decode what this symbol means. The man was plagued by visions of the mysterious sign ever since he was trapped in the town, and grew more and more obsessed as the show progressed. Soon it was revealed that the mark was previously connected to one of the town's residents, Christopher, who started going off the rails when he started seeing the same symbol. Now, in the Season 3 finale, Jade solves the riddle of the bottle trees and interprets the numbers he's seen throughout the series as musical notes. He plays the song near the bottle tree, which unlocks some kind of secret and the very idea on which the King in Yellow stands. That knowledge comes at a forbidden cost, which is addressed here when the man in yellow pops up right after Jade's song and says, knowledge comes with a cost, and that he did try to warn him. The phrase showed up in the Series 4 trailer, marking the connection between From and the King in Yellow even stronger. And get this, in the book, music plays an important role in the revelation of knowledge too, especially when we consider Casilda's song. I'll talk about it soon. Apart from that, in the third story of the book, titled In the Court of the Dragon, the main character is haunted by this unsettling church organist, and the music he plays basically exposes the presence of something supernatural, and pulls the character out of normal reality and forces him into Carcosa, where they hear the King in Yellow say, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God." Coming back to the 9 dates, it's possible that 9 stories have already happened in Fromville, and the man in yellow has been around for all of them. The other interesting connection is how Ethan often appears to be wearing something yellow, and he's always had this unexplained connection to the town, like he just understands how it works. He somehow knows that everyone is just a character from a book, acting like they're in some kind of story if you go back to the beginning. Ethan even foreshadows many plot points. Also, when Julie told him about time traveling, he wasn't shocked at all. Rather, he calmly explained to her that she's a story walker. So, did the little boy playing Ethan understand the script better than everyone else? I wish it was that simple, but the probable answer in From's world is that Ethan is a storyteller just like the King in Yellow. Wait, there's more. If we rewind to Season 1, Episode 1, Ethan talks about the Lake of Tears, which is very similar to the Misty Lake in the King in Yellow, Lake Holly, which has often been associated with tears or sorrow. In Act 1 of the King in Yellow, the last line of Casilda's song reads as, "Song of my soul, my voice is dead. Die thou unsung, as tears unshed, shall dry and die in lost Carcosa." Now for my next argument, we have the most common depiction of the King in Yellow, which is this tentacled octopus-like monstrous thing. If you pause for a second where we get to see the drawings on the walls of the cave, a very similar sketch pops up, and it might be possible that the makers have been dropping soft hints to how From is intertwined with the myth of King in Yellow. Now, what does it mean for the man in yellow to be the storyteller? The answer is simple. Whatever is happening in Fromville, he's authoring it. He's the one who's put in all the plot points and is writing the fate for each character. And that's exactly why Julie threatens him, because she's appearing in chapters which he has not crafted yet, and he rigidly tells her that she can't change a story that has already been written. That would also mean that the only way to exit from this nightmare of a place is to get off the script that's being penned by this mysterious man, who by the way has now put himself inside the story to gain better control. Once again, it puts From and the King in Yellow in the same genre, a fiction written by an anonymous writer. Alright guys, that's all for today. There are billions of theories floating around the internet, and honestly, it's worth losing my sleep over because From is a different ballgame. However, the King in Yellow struck a chord, especially when I found so many similarities, and let's just hope I've cracked it at least a little bit. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the bell icon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!